It is time to talk about the most common mistakes that you are making in Counter-Strike 2. This is going to be a video for all of you guys that find yourself from levels 1 to 9 and maybe even low level 10. I'm going to give you so many good things and a lot of stuff that I see players that I coach personally doing wrong, and this will be your little shortcut to understanding how to fix some of those problems, or at least recognize some of those problems. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate all of the love and support on this. The biggest thing that you're doing wrong, guys, and this isn't going to be rocket science, is your crosshair placement is so bad. Now, it's going to be kind of difficult to train this, right? And a lot of it does come with map awareness and knowledge. So the more you play the maps, the better this should become. But I need you to actively think about, where am I placing my crosshair? Now, for those of you that are newer to Counter-Strike, a lot of you are putting your crosshair on the ground when you're moving into angles. And why is that bad? Because if somebody peeks you, now you're forcing yourself to have to move your mouse up when you react instead of just being able to click on them, right? So right now, when someone peeks you, you're like, boom, and it's really sporadic, it's really crazy, or you're aiming too high and you're like, boom, like that, right? We want to keep our crosshair right at that head level or slightly below so that we get a nice, clean, reaction time when it comes to these people peeking us. So if your reaction time, your time to kill, your reaction time is a little slow, this is also going to help you out so much because your crosshair is going to be in the perfect position. For those of you that are understanding of this, you're a little more skilled, maybe you're facing level 5 to 9, what you need to work on actively is not necessarily the level where your crosshair is, but making sure that when you're peeking angles, you're not looking into the wall before you do this. This is something that you might think that you're not doing, but if you watch your own demo and you see this, you'll see it happens way more than you think, right? So we're peeking long corner here and we sit like this, or we're so concerned with peeking sight that while we're doing this, we lose our crosshair and we lose focus, or we see somebody or hear something in our team, someone's talking, and we lose complete focus, and then we ran into sight, not even looking at all of the angles that we should be, right? So always, guys, always just be really cognizant of what we're peeking and trace the corners. That's the thing I want you to get really good at, is tracing corners. Because even if we're not hardcore pre-firing something like sight right here, right, and doing this, if you're tracing corners, most of the time you can't go wrong, right? Especially if somebody's playing some strange off angle, say somebody's playing right here. If we get really good at tracing corners, we'll get less and less surprised by when people are in these really weird, really bad positions. Because a lot of people are like, Kojo, your videos are helpful, but in face at level 3, I can't do this because people react weird or people play weird spots. Trust me, if you just build your fundamentals and you build these mechanics like crosshair placement especially, it doesn't matter how weird or how bad people are going to play, you're going to be able to shut them down. You're going to be able to farm them. I get that it's not that easy. It's easier said than done. But trust me, like when I play face level 3 games, I can drop 50 kills. And obviously I've developed my skills over time, but we'll get into the rest of that after I give you a quick message about how to get the coolest looking CS2 skins like this knife.
Thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Skins Monkey. They are one of the greatest and easiest to use CS2 trading sites out there. You can swap out the skins you do not like for brand new ones that are so much more fresh. Even skins that are trade locked can be secured by adding them to your backpack. The greatest thing about the site is that you can buy skins for so much cheaper with a 35% deposit bonus when you use my code KOJO. Make sure to check out the freebie section where you can get a free skin just by completing tasks. On top of the bonuses, you also get a $5 bonus when clicking the link in the description.
All right, guys, so let's go ahead and talk about the next thing that people are not really understanding. And this is, again, not rocket science. I've talked about this on my channel so many times, but it's something that people consistently keep getting killed. And so if you're a low level player or a newer player to the game, I need you to understand that you want to limit the amount of angles you are exposed to at all times. This may seem overwhelming at first, but trust me, it's as simple as understanding where are the danger areas and where can I get peeked from. So it's really easy on Dust 2 to understand this. Say we're on the T side and we planted bomb here. We're in a 3v5 retake. We have 2 other teammates with us. The CTs are in every direction. They're long, they're cat, they're CT. They're coming at us from all these sites. A lot of us actually are making like really bad mistakes where we come out here and we're putting ourselves like up on a Christmas tree. We're like on the star on top of the Christmas tree saying, hey, everybody come look at us. Look here. If we swing cat, look here. If we're long, look at us on site here. When we're in any situation, T side, CT side, we need to make sure that we are not exposed to everything. So what does this mean? This means that we have to sometimes take space. So that might mean I have to go up here and take catwalk, or I have to use a smoke in a way that limits the angles I'm exposed to. So I plant the bomb on site here. I'm getting overran from everywhere. I might drop a lurk smoke down on site so that now I can sit up here in the middle of the open, but now I have a smoke and sit here and isolate some of these fights, right? Or I can do things like jump up here, try to get some kills, and be a little more dynamic, right? The problem is a lot of us get so paralyzed with fear that we don't realize that, you know, we are in so many exposed spots. I see people go car a lot, which car's not a bad position, right? But what they'll do is, instead of just peeking their head up here and trying to take some shots or something, they'll swing all the way out here, exposing themselves to everything. Same thing if we're holding long, guys. If we're on a CT, right? If we're CTs taking long, you know, you don't always want to just be out in the open here. I see a lot of new players just like sit in spots like this. Now, this can be a surprising angle, right? It can be, I mean, I guess, but we're so much better off making sure that we're not exposing ourselves more than we have to. So that goes in the macro of like exposing ourselves to multiple angles, like in that retake, and in the micro, where it literally means like stop exposing so much of our body. There's a huge difference in playing this angle and even an angle like this, right? So low level players, face it 1 through face it 8, 9 even. I mean, you guys aren't low level at 8 and 9, but I think everyone needs to understand this concept so much better, right? It's huge. It's actually, it means everything. So it's a good thing to understand on splits too. So like say you're a B player and they're splitting you on both sides. One of the worst places you can be is like up here, right? This is so bad in a B split because one, they're going to be peeking you from tunnels and they're splitting you from mid. So what we have to do sometimes is push in and limit the angles that we're exposed to. If we push into tunnels here, at least now we're only fighting in tunnels. We're not worried about the mid guys. Vice versa, maybe we want to fight mid instead. So we come out here, make some ballsy play, flash over, don't care what it is, and now we're fighting mid with our teammates or something, right? So it's a really good concept to understand, and it kind of ties in a tiny bit to the last point I want to make that you guys are doing wrong. And I know this because, guys, I coach students. I help you get to from where you are to where you need to be in Counter-Strike 2. I've worked with over 200 students in the game so far, and by far I think genuinely like one of the biggest mistakes is we're not using utility in post plants. Let me talk to you as a CT real quick. When you are a CT, the most valuable thing you can ever have in a retake is a smoke. Now, why is this so valuable, guys? Because when the T's have planted bomb anywhere, say they plant a bomb on A site here, if we can retake site and use our smoke in a way to, you know, obscure the vision on the bomb, it's huge. So we're retaking through the cat here. We get all these kills, we're fragging out, our teammates in CT are handling it, and we get down to a 1v2, right? This is a 1v2, you know, maybe you're facing an opper where this guy can sit here and pick you guys off. But if you can recognize that the last guy is long, all you've got to do is throw a smoke on site and boom, we can either defuse the bomb, which if you're playing an opera, I would recommend just defusing the bomb in that situation, or we can tap the bomb and play very dynamic. So this is a situation you can use for everything. Same thing if the guys are on cat. Say there's 2 guys alive on cat, we're retaking site. We can either use our smoke on bomb or we can use our smoke on cat. I don't care what you're doing. You should always be using a smoke and a molly in your retake when you can. Now, obviously, don't be using it stupidly. Don't use it for no reason, but it's so valuable, guys. On the flip side, maybe we're a CT and we got smoked off cat. Well, no problem because, okay, NA nades, am I right? NA nades. No problem because we can throw a cat lurk smoke. We can sit here and throw a cat lurk smoke, right? Guys, go ahead and comment NA nades down below. And give ourselves some room to breathe, right? Smokes are room to breathe as well. Same thing if we're CT. If we know they're long in sight, maybe we want to throw a smoke corner to at least give ourselves a little room right here so that the long guys can't just sit here and pick us off if we want to do things like jump up here, do all this good stuff. Your molly, your smoke, and your flashes and nade, obviously all of that is like gold in post plants. And post plants, it's the best thing you can use. So yeah, I just don't see enough players utilizing that. And if you're gonna have it, you might as well use it because it makes the life so difficult for the players you're playing against. And guys, not to mention on T side, say you take B site here, if you can just constantly recycle door smokes, recycle them over and over here, and re-molly window over and over, trust me, the CTs are not going to be able to retake. With all of this util, it's just going to be completely impossible. Recycling door smokes, recycling tunnel smokes, cutting them off. If you have a smoke and a retake, you should definitely be using it in some way 90-95% of the time, I'd say. So I hope you guys learned something from this video. These are very common mistakes that I want you to actively think about and how you can fix them. Some concepts we learned in this video. If you guys need extra help, like I said, I do offer coaching. I'd love to help you take your game to the next level. And guys, I launched a second channel where we go fully in depth with demo reviews of players, demo reviews of some higher upcoming players that might be pros one day. So I would definitely recommend checking that out. I've been working really hard on that channel, and I'd love for you to be part of that channel too. If you want your video to be up there, I'll go ahead and post it. So thank you guys so much for watching this. Subscribe to both those channels. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Let's keep grinding and stop making these mistakes in Counter-Strike 2.